Hello. So, right, it's a Thursday. I better film something. Uh, that's the kind of week I'm having, I guess. Hello. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. Thanks for sticking around. This is my weekly update. I think it's week 11. I've been doing this for 11 weeks. What? That's kind of... wow. Anyway, so you may notice I said last week I was going to do a Tuesday video. I didn't. I asked Instagram, they said I should make a mental health video. I have written a draft of a script for it, but it's last week I did 3 videos and that was a bit much. And then this week I have some extra stuff going on at work, so my schedule was a little bit off. And yeah, hopefully at some point this weekend I will get the second draft written so I can record it on Sunday and have lots of time to edit on Monday, but we'll see. I will hopefully at some point soon put up a video where I talk about my mental health story. But that's not this update. This is my how my week went update. So it went pretty well. I think there's been 3 days this week where I did not log any of my food into Cronometer, but that's okay because all of those days are days that either one was Sunday and I just didn't really care. I was like, I'm gonna eat reasonably, and I did reasonably good at eating reasonably. I think I probably ate around maintenance. And then the other 2 days were yesterday and today, and I didn't really feel like logging my food, but I knew that all of the things I was eating would hit my goals, so I'm not concerned, which is like, that's really cool to me that I can have days where I'm like, yeah, I know this is a thing that I have eaten before, and so I know it's a reasonable portion. I did eat something new today, but it was a bread pudding, and I did put it into Cronometer as a recipe just so I know roughly what the macros are for it, and it fits fine. It's basically, instead of oatmeal, I can have that for breakfast. And it's a little higher in sugar, but otherwise pretty close because it's made with bits of my homemade whole wheat, whole grain bread. There will be a card. You've probably already seen my bread baking adventures, but if you're new, you haven't. So I made a couple of loaves of that for Sunday for Thanksgiving because my mom wanted to try it, and she was like just super wowed by how easy of a bread recipe it was and how nice it seemed to turn out. But it's kind of a softer bread, and I sliced it with a bread slicer, and that kind of mangled it a little bit. So I had half a loaf worth of kind of mangled pieces of bread left over, and so I cubed them and I made bread pudding. And yeah, it turned out pretty well. I put some extra spices in it. I put a bit of allspice and cardamom. I just called for cinnamon because I was like, I'm gonna do something that's a little more chai spiced. Yeah, so I'm kind of, now I know that I have tracked calories for a long time, so this isn't like, oh, you've only been tracking calories for a few weeks and now you think you know. Like, I know whether something is a reasonable portion size that's going to help me feel satisfied, but also not like feel too full. And I know what the rough macros are of a lot of things. Like, I can't tell you exactly how many calories I ate today, but I know that it probably hit within my normal intake range, if that makes sense. Because I ate like a tofu scramble wrap, and I have those all the time. And then I had mashed potatoes with white beans and roasted broccoli for dinner, and I used the amount of beans and potatoes and broccoli that I usually use when I make that, and I know I've had that a bunch of times and had it fit my intake range. So eating wise, things went well. Exercise wise, things have gone well as well. I went to the gym on Tuesday, so now within the last 2 weeks I've been to the gym twice, and I'm hoping to go again tomorrow, so that's really cool. The elliptical was taken, so I went on, what is it called? The Adaptive Motion Trainer. I don't know, it's this machine that kind of works like an elliptical, but it has these sort of elasticized strips or whatever, and you can either step like you're on a stair climber and just go up and down, or you can step like you're on elliptical, or theoretically you can step like you're running, but I'm too short to do that. So I didn't. But I went on that for half an hour and it was good, although it was hard on my quads. So I'm going to probably go at a slightly different time when I go tomorrow than I went on Tuesday to see if it's less busy. But yeah, so that went well, and all the other days except for today I got at least 10,000 steps. Today I've done like 4,000 or something like that because I spent most of today working on writing, like fiction writing. Creative writing is something I've done off and on for ages, but it's been a while since I have really turned to it as a I don't want to say escapism method, but like a sort of coping emotional health thing. Last time I really sat down and did a bunch of creative writing that I felt good about was probably like April or May. And so it was really nice to kind of spend a day just being creative and stuff. So great. That's probably a good sign for me being able to actually film my mental health video for Tuesday. So this is probably going to be a shorter video today because my week went pretty well. Moving forward, like I said, I want to go to the gym tomorrow. I would like to do sort of hopefully at least one day each week, if not two, moving forward, as long as I am still feeling healthy and as long as the gym isn't busy when I go. Because with all of the risks of being in places around people these days, I kind of only feel comfortable with the risk level if I can go on one of the cardio machines that's facing away from everything else and if it's not super busy. So that's activity-wise what I'm hoping to do in terms of eating. I hope to keep eating sort of around the same amount and to keep exploring just how closely I need to track what I'm eating, if just mentally knowing that what I eat will hit my goals is fine or not or whatever, we'll see. And just mentally I want to keep trying not to overcomplicate things. So yeah. I did somewhat successfully finish my experiment practicing my practice session with chips that I did last week. On Sunday I probably ate 2 servings of chips just because that was what was left in the bag, and I could tell I was starting to think a little funny about them, so I just kind of put them in a bowl and I ate them. And it was fine, but it wasn't that satisfying. So we'll see. I'll still buy chips every so often if I feel good and feel like I want to try practicing with them, but it's really interesting because I don't feel any sort of huge difficulty to go through the chip aisle if I need something that makes me go through it, or to just avoid going into it. I'm not standing there going, I want chips, which is really cool. I'm not craving them nearly as much as I had before. So somewhat of a success with my chip practice, and yeah, I look forward to continuing to discover my abilities to not tie a bunch of emotional stuff to food. So if you liked this video, if you like my updates, if you want to keep watching for more updates, give this video a thumbs up because then the algorithm will know you liked it. If you want to stick around, you want to know more about me and what I'm doing and my history, both with my weight, with various things. I have a few videos, put some cards here about my story. Like I said, hopefully next week I'll have a story about my mental health, so if you're interested in watching that, subscribe so that YouTube tells you when I post it. If you want to stick around and continue to follow my journey, I'd love it if you subscribed. And if anything in my video made you think something, if you have a really strong opinion on ellipticals versus adaptive motion trainers, or if you have an opinion on bread pudding or whatever, I'd love it if you commented down below. And yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you have a great week, and I will be back on Hopefully Tuesday, but definitely Friday.